if you've competed well, won a lot of money, had your share of endorsements, but you must win this title. There you see the prize breakdown. Certainly that's important. $100,000 to the winning team, all the way down to $22,005 for number 2. But being the U.S. champion is clearly what these players are after.
24-year-old Kent Steffes will serve. He is going to win the Miller Lite Grand Prix bonus pool and win $70,000 today when this tournament is finished. And here we go. Tim Hovland receives the first serve. Karch is coming, and he puts it away. Good defensive play early by Kirai and Steffes.
Well, we talked about both of these players, Karch Kirai and Kent Steffes, being the prototypes. They can pass, they can play defense, they can set, and they also have the great physical skills. There you see a perfect example of all of them combined for the first point of the match.
Kent Steffes, leading money winner so far this year, one of the bright young stars on the tour. Tim Hovland. And he whipped it over to Johnson. Adam Johnson, he's just 27. One of the most improved players the last couple of years, and he has really made inroads. Maybe the best defensive player on tour right now.
I think he is right now. He is so quick. All-American at USC. Played with Kent Steffes earlier in the season before the return of Karch Kirai from the Italian professional leagues, and won 2 tournaments with him.
Blocked by Hovland. And he goes into his crab posture.
Get ready for the pose down. Tim Hovland blocked a lot of balls against St. John Smith to get into this position, and this time dropping the inside hand against Karch Kirai.
Adam Johnson with the missed toss, so he'll reserve. Allowed to do that once, then you must hit the ball no matter where it goes. Johnson working on Karch. And out of the reach of Johnson. For identification purposes, let's set him for you. Karch Kirai wearing his familiar pink hat. Why he wears pink, we don't know. 6'2", 200, 31 years old, lives now in San Clemente. 2 gold medals in the house. And he whips up the jump serve.
Come here.
1-1 our score. Hovland, and Hovland is really strong. Let's tell you about Tim Hovland. He's from this area. The fans love him. One of the great players of all time, and an on-edge personality, energetic.
Well, for years, he entertained fans of pro beach volleyball all over the United States with longtime partner Mike Dodd. They have split up. Tim Hovland has, in fact, played with Kent Steffes for a number of tournaments, and they won a big one together a year ago, April, in Clearwater, Florida. But Hovland, an unbelievable competitor, one of the greatest high school athletes ever to come out of the state of California.
And Steffes whacks a jump serve almost into the crowd. So pressure on Kirai and Steffes. I don't feel much on Tim Hovland and Adam Johnson, not expected to get to the final, but playing well getting here. They knocked off St. John Smith and Randy Stokos by a couple of points in a thriller just a little while ago. Oh, and it goes through Steffes' hands. That's a problem they had earlier in the tournament, Paul.
Well, it's very, very hot. You can see Karch Kirai wearing socks, Adam Johnson wearing the Nike foot digs. Now, this ball's been passed, has a lot of perspiration on it. The beach volleyball is heavier than the indoor volleyball, so it spins right through Kent Steffes' hands.
2-1 Johnson as Johnson goes into the net. Yesterday, that happened to Karch Kirai 2 times. So he told his partner, Kent Steffes, to wipe his arms off, get that sweat off there if he could. Serving Hovland.
Okay.
And he snaps it through. Tim Hovland talking about his character, the on edge. He said, I have been on edge since I was in high school. I am what I am. I said, what's that, Popeye? No, he said, I am what I am. I'm just like that, and people have to accept me.
Yeah, but anybody who knows Tim Hovland knows that he's been on edge and on top of the athletic world, particularly in volleyball, since the day he was born. On edge since high school. I don't buy that. On edge since he came out of the womb and said, Mom, where's dinner? And going to cash in and have lots of good meals if he wins here in Hermosa Beach.
Kirai and Steffes, as Hovland just served up his lollipop serve. Hovland generally known as an easy server, thus the lollipop, the easy serve, but that one caught an ace. This is the 23rd tournament of the year. There's one more officially on the AVP schedule. That's 2 weeks in Santa Barbara, the Miller Lite Tournament of Champions. But this is the one that Karch Kirai and Kent Steffes want to win. 7th a year ago, and they have not forgotten the sting of the articles after that they could not win this tournament. Hovland serving. by Steffes this time, and Steffes puts it away.
Well, a lot of people say, okay, you won in Cleveland, you won in Grand Haven, you won in Belmar Beach, you won in Philadelphia. In fact, they won 13 in a row. But this area of Southern California, Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, this is the mecca of pro beach volleyball. This is where the major championships are held, and you have to win your share of those. Earlier in the year, Ryan Steffes won the first big one here at home in Manhattan.
Tim Hovland racks one out of bounds. Our first side change with 8 minutes, 7 seconds to go. It's 3-2. Chris Marlowe, Paul Sunderland, and 20,000 other sun worshipers back at Hermosa Beach, California. The Miller Lite U.S. Championships presented by Old Spice. Ryan Steffes battling against Tim Hovland and Adam Johnson. Hovland and Johnson both in black, wearing the white tank tops. Ryan Steffes, Steffes in maroon or lavender, Karch Karai in blue and black. There's Steffes, and there's Karai. Two-man teams on the beach as AJ sets to serve it up. His team ahead by a point. 1-15 for the winner. And Johnson, if he can't get his serve in, Paul, Hovland and Johnson are dead.
Jump serving was really a key to Adam Johnson's success last year, along with his ability to play defense and hit the ball, but really must jump serve well. Ryan Steffes going to be serving Tim Hovland almost exclusively this match. AJ has got to contribute from the jump service line.
Nice dig, Karch. And scooping it back over, Hovland has it. Trying to save a point. Hovland. Yes!
Unbelievable play by Tim Hovland. Out here for over a decade, 33 years old and still scrambling. Played almost every sport in high school. Karai with the good dig. Now the shot coming, and look at where Tim Hovland is. He's all the way on the back line, complete run, and then cuffs the ball to the back line. A great play by both Tim Hovland and Adam Johnson with a good set.
The ensuing play spanked down the line by Kent Steffes. Now he will have the ball. Steffes, and he's working on Tim Hovland. Hovland snapping. Oh, is he red hot?
Tim Hovland and Adam Johnson lost in the semifinals of this tournament, dropped down into the contenders bracket. They have played a couple of extra matches. But if anybody is tough enough to still win this tournament, Tim Hovland can certainly do it.
Adam Johnson, born in Portland, raised in Seattle, made his way into the beaches of Southern California, and going over the top is Karch Karai.
Karch Karai back to serve.
So, one of the greats, if not the greatest, Karch Karai, 56 wins. He's 6th on the all-time list and closing fast. Hovland. And Hovland again snaps it by his former partner.
6 kills for Tim Hovland, and he looks very, very fresh, being served most of the tournament and holding up.
Two-time U.S. champion. Talking about his personality, one of the most interesting players on the beach. His favorite movie is Platoon. He's seen it, he told me, 60 times. Loves Westerns and war movies, especially from Vietnam. Now, what does that tell you about his personality? Combative.
Ready. You think I have questions about Tim Hovland's personality after all the years that I've known him? Had his chance to play in the Olympic Games, was an unbelievable indoor player as well. But had some problems with the coach and could not play.
Karai over the top. And we're tied at 3-3. Karch Karai, even though he's 6'2", as Hovland tears off the jersey. There he goes. The incredible Hulk. And the fans love it, especially the one that got the souvenir.
One of his trademarks, and this is a trademark for Karch Karai. Look at him jump way out to cover the line shot by Tim Hovland. Ryan Steffes can both block the ball very well.
Hovland, dink, and score. So Hovland doing some work at the net. Adam Johnson, a team that has been in existence for only 4 weeks. 3-3, 7 minutes and 16 seconds to go. Good serve. Steffes. Oh, and he kabooms it down the line.
Adam Johnson really trying to step up, make a big contribution by jump serving well. He hit it hard up the middle, but Steffes able to pass the ball well. Good set from Karai on the side out. Adam Johnson has yet to receive a serve. Everything going to Tim Hovland. There's his first.
Johnson. Oh, and he smacks it very, very hard.
teams are serving Tim Hovland. He's older. He's hit about 450 million volleyballs in his day, and Adam Johnson has got a whip from the right side and a better setter than Tim Hovland. So Hovland the target.
Hovland with the jump serve. And now Johnson will block. And Steffes got one right on the line, but they're saying no. And a yellow card issued to Tim Hovland. He followed big volleyball in the Olympics. You'll know what the yellow card means. It means shut up.
Well, this ball looked to be wide, and this is the same referee that Tim Hovland had a problem with in the semifinals.
Timeout call, 20-second break.
Tim Hovland cannot believe the call.
Jim Leonard and Marvin Hall. And Jim Leonard said, let's get going. Controversy in an earlier match. An interference call on Hovland. And Hovland and Johnson will come back out. 3-3 is our score. And Kent Steffes will put the ball in play. Cocky, able to back up. Oh, and he serves the ace. Steffes, as we mentioned before, he does not talk trash during the match. He'll scream a little, but he does most of his talking to the press or anybody else who will listen.
24 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Not real popular with a lot of players in the Players 10 and out on tour. Really speaks his mind, goes his own way.
That serve out of bounds, and Hovland still barking at one of the linesmen, George Carey. And you're right, Paul. He was the umpire in the previous match that made the interference call on Hovland.
And used that confrontation.
He's still on him.
He had to turn on the crowd and really go on, and was the key to beating St. John Smith and Randy Stokos. But that's a double-edged sword. You've got to keep your concentration.
And Karch going right over the top of Tim Hovland. Of course, you know that Karch Karai, and if you didn't, made $1 million last year in Italy. Did you know Karch's first job, Paul? He worked at a falafel stand. He and his best friend Ty Martin worked there. Ty was the falafel king. Karch was the falafel prince. Of course, you know the falafel, that's that lamb and mutton skewer little jobby, right?
Yeah, now Karch owns 100 of them around the country called KK's Falafel House. And knowing his appetite, probably eats up most of the profits.
4-3. Karai and Steffes with a 1-point lead. Steffes. And the dig by AJ. Yes!
Yes, that is a dig, and yes, that is a kill. Adam Johnson hanging in the cross court. This ball coming about 80 miles an hour, and Adam Johnson, yeah, is it in? Is it in? Yes, for the score.
4-4. Now back to Steffes. And inside, Hovland not over the net.
Side out.
And so Kent Steffes will have the ball. What did the professional volleyball players do during the week? Well, Kent Steffes 2 days ago went to the new offices of Playboy. I said, how was it? He said, every playmate of the last 2 years was there. I said, did you get any phone numbers? He said, no comment. First time ever, no comment from Kent Steffes.
Right side out by Tim Hovland, but Steffes told me as he was leaving the media tent, he said, Marlowe asked me the wrong question. He should have asked me if any of the girls got my phone number. And I said, well, did they? He said, no comment.
If you can back it up, I guess that's the appropriate phrase for Kent Steffes. 4-4. On to Karch. And the call line. Hovland and Johnson complaining about a double contact on Kent Steffes. Was it a double?
No, that one was okay. Just planting the seed, and by double contact, watch when either Kent Steffes or Karch Karai set the ball. If it comes out with a lot of spin or is contacted right hand, left hand, that should be a violation. Johnson and Tim Hovland just planting the seed with the officials right now.
Good shot by Adam Johnson. Johnson grew up as a tennis player. He didn't take up volleyball until he was a 10th grader. Actually tried out for the football team as a senior, and he averaged 42 yards and 7/10 per punt. Some guy looked it up and put it in a article that would have been 6th in the NFC last year. 42.7. Hovland with the block.
There he's flexing again. 42.7 yards on the punt, but about 11 feet high on the stuff block by Tim Hovland. How high does Hovland get? Still skying, head up over the net, and just flapping the ball straight down in Steffes' face.
I have to say, that's a nifty return. 5-4. Steffes. No! And he snaps over the top. So Kent Steffes gets the kill. Grew up very studious. His parents made him study 5 to 8 every day. Came out of Pacific Palisades High School with 3.7 grade point average and ended up going to Stanford for his first year of school. And Karch rejects back. Hanging jumper. 6 minutes, 8 seconds to go. The Miller Lite U.S. Pro Championships. We're tied at 5 and coming back to the beach after this. Volleyball ordered and get it. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland back at Hermosa Beach, California. Crowd of about 15 or 20,000 on hand watching Karch Karai, Kent Steffes, Tim Hovland, and Adam Johnson. Winner of this match, the two players will split $100,000. Kent Steffes and his partner Karai have won most of the tournaments this year. 14. He won 13 in a row at one point. This is Tim Hovland. Played very, very well so far. Pokey down the line. That's set. Kong over to the veteran Hovland.
Coming
And going. Steffes with the kill.
Kent Steffes has won 16 tournaments this year, 14 of them with Karch Karai. Clearly the best team on the beach right now. There's the joust, and Hov with the little pokey. But Karai Steffes finish out the play and score.
And the 22nd timeout taken by Tim Hovland and Adam Johnson. 7-5 is our score.
Adam Johnson and Tim Hovland probably feeling pretty good at 5-5. They stayed in the match early against a heavily favored team of Karch Karai and Kent Steffes. They were siding out pretty well, but now have given up points back-to-back.
Jackson and Sandra Steffes, the parents of Kent. The parents that created Kent, made him such a serious student. A serve for the youngster as he whips it down the line. Interestingly, the father of Kent Steffes works at Northrop.
Very calculating mind throughout, and right here, Kent Steffes calculating very well, forwards and backwards on the jump serve, but still counts the same as the ace.
Trying to get it again, 8-5. And another dig, Steffes. Hovland is there. He knows his old partner. Can he put it away? Not yet. AJ, big one here. Not yet. Hovland, big one. No. Steffes. We are still going. Steffes. And he puts it away.
Best rally of the tournament. Only 2 players covering the same size court as we saw 6 cover in the Olympic Games. Stretched out, and then finally the killer loop over the top for the kill by Kent Steffes.
I believe I said Kent's father worked at Northrop. He does not. He works at Hughes Aircraft. And we'll fly right back to Hermosa Beach after this on a luxury liner. 9-5 is our score with 5 minutes and 15 seconds to go in this game. Tournament trophy, U.S. Professional Champion. A tournament that has been in existence since 1987. Of course, some change to go with that, some cash, if you like. And right now, Kent Steffes and Karch Karai turning it on Tim Hovland and Adam Johnson. They need a side out. Johnson and Steffes played well early, but Karch and Kent digging lips.
That's out of here. 5 points in a row for Karai and Steffes. We were tied at 5, but no longer on the side change.
Successive digs. Johnson and Hovland in trouble. We'll be back after these words from our local stations. It's the Miller Lite U.S. Championships presented by Old Spice. Some spicy action early. 10-5 is our score now. Hovland and Johnson having trouble getting the ball by Karai and past Kent Steffes. Another point.
Tim Hovland was able to side out early in this match. He has not done so lately. He has been served 22 times and has given up all 11 points to the team of Karch Karai and Kent Steffes when he has received serve, and they're going to keep it right on.
Hovland. And Karch blocks another one. And yes, Karch is psyched up. You don't see him yell and scream much. No, but this is a tournament they have never won.
Saw the windmill only once this season out of Karch Karai, and that's when he beat Smith and Stokos in the finals in San Diego. Here's windmill number 2.
And the timeout is taken. More beach volleyball action coming up. 5 minutes to go in the game. Karai and Steffes in command. Don't forget, in 2 weeks, more beach action here on NBC. The Miller Lite Tournament of Champions in Santa Barbara, California, Saturday, September 16th. That's a Saturday final. Steffes digs another one. There will be priority seating available for that one if you would like to purchase a seat. As Johnson fires one down, you can call the ABP for ticket information. The Association of Volleyball Professionals. Of course, you can see it live right here on NBC. Johnson and Hovland, what do they have to do, Paul?
Well, they need an ace right now out of Adam Johnson. They need to create some momentum. Tim Hovland needs a break physically and mentally. He has just been worked right now by the dream team of Karch Kiraly and Kent Steffes. He needs Adam Johnson to dial up a couple of aces and get his concentration back.
There's the stuff.
Big sign out facing Tim Hovland that says get nasty, and indeed the Javi coming through with a big stuff block. This will do a lot for your momentum and your second win, but need some help serving from Adam Johnson.
That could rev up Johnson. Off the net, Steffes got it. Nice shot. Right now, Karch Kiraly and Kent Steffes have scored 8 unanswered points to lead 12-6, just 3 points away from wrapping up this title, and 50 grand apiece. Beach trunks can hold 50 grand apiece.
Just one check.
Another block, this time Steffes. So Kent Steffes and Karch Kiraly double teaming Tim Hovland.
Dominating right now. Adam Johnson has not gotten into the match enough offensively because, quite frankly, hasn't been given the chance, has not been served. And Tim Hovland has worked very, very hard throughout the course of this 3-day tournament, and right now is unable to side out.
Third 22nd timeout taken by Hovland and Johnson. We have mentioned the Miller Lite Grand Prix going to be given away. $75,000 going to Steffes. The places are determined. Kiraly with 38, Johnson with 31, St. John Smith, Randy Stoklos. $500,000 cash bonus. How you finish during the year, how many Miller Lite events you place in, and how well you do. And Kent Steffes is the new king of the beach. And trouble as Karch Kiraly and Kent Steffes close in. Now 14-6, and they are just 1 point away from the Dream Championship. Kiraly and Steffes, yes, just 1 point away when we return. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland at the Miller Lite U.S. Pro Championships presented by Old Spice. 1 point away from a championship. Even Karch Kiraly has never won. This could be it. Looking for the title. 7th last year. Needing a stuff block. This could be it. And it is!
A record-breaking season punctuated by a U.S. championship, and Kent Steffes has now set the record. 17 titles in a single pro beach volleyball season. A new record previously held at 16 by St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos.
And $50,000 apiece in prize money. Now our Old Spice winning moment. Certainly not a better one than the final one. At the net, Steffes and Hovland, former partners jousting, and then Steffes. Bingo, bongo, boingo. And it was over. The winning moment presented by Old Spice. Stay with us. We have